Your words shape your reality. This is not merely a motivational catchphrase. It is a fundamental principle of personal achievement. Every word you speak is a declaration of belief, a command issued to the subconscious mind, and a seed planted in the soil of your future. The moment you open your mouth to speak about who you are, what you want, or what you believe is possible, you are setting in motion a chain of events that will either build you or break you. Consider for a moment the way thoughts become words, and words become actions. A person who constantly says, "I can't," is not merely expressing doubt. They are programming their entire system to expect failure. The brain responds to that verbal command by shutting down creativity, resisting effort, and avoiding opportunities. On the other hand, the individual who repeatedly says, "I will find a way," is engaging their mind in a completely different process. That phrase signals possibility. It activates the problem-solving faculties of the brain. It encourages persistence. It frames obstacles not as dead ends, but as detours on the road to success. This isn't magic. It is the psychology of the spoken word. The subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it, whether those seeds are weeds of doubt or the fruit, bearing trees of belief. And your words are the seeds. Speak negativity, and you cultivate limitation. Speak vision, and you build momentum. Most people are unaware that they are speaking failure into their lives every single day. They say things like, "I'm always broke," "Nothing ever works out for me," "I'm not lucky like others," or "This is just who I am." These statements, though often casual and unconscious, carry immense power. When repeated, they become convictions. And when a belief becomes strong enough, it directs behavior. You cannot rise above the level of your self-talk. If your language is weak, your actions will be hesitant. If your speech is fearful, your choices will reflect that fear. If you describe yourself as powerless, your results will mirror that image. What you verbalize, you visualize. And what you visualize, you move toward, whether consciously or not. This is why the most successful individuals discipline not just their actions, but their language. They speak power into their identity. They say things like, "I am capable," "I am focused," "I am growing," "I attract success." And they say these things even before the results are visible. You might wonder, how can you say, "I am successful," if you're currently struggling? That's the point. Your words are not just a reflection of your current condition. They are tools to construct your future. Saying, "I am successful," isn't about lying to yourself. It's about aligning your identity with the version of you that you are becoming. It is about using language as a bridge from where you are to where you intend to go. Every time you repeat that phrase with belief, you are reinforcing a self-image that leads to higher standards, better decisions, and stronger habits. This practice requires awareness. You must become the guardian of your vocabulary. You cannot afford to speak casually about your limitations. You must treat every word that comes out of your mouth as if it were a command to your destiny, because it is. Speak what you want to experience. Speak what you want to become. Speak the energy you wish to carry with you. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on power instead of pain, possibility instead of pessimism, growth instead of stagnation. The process is simple, but not easy. It takes intention, it takes practice, and it takes emotional involvement. Saying, "I am confident," in a flat, bored tone will not transform you. But declaring it with energy, with repetition, with conviction, day after day will begin to rewrite the script of your identity. And when your identity changes, your reality follows. So if you want to change your life, begin with your language. Speak courage, speak clarity, speak strength. Your words are not just sounds. They are the builders of your future. Every time you speak, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Make those votes count. Repetition fuels transformation. This is a principle that governs not only personal growth, but the development of every successful habit, belief, and identity. The human mind is not changed through a single moment of inspiration. It is reshaped through continual reinforcement, day after day, word after word, image after image. What you repeat becomes familiar, and what becomes familiar becomes accepted. The subconscious mind operates on that rhythm. It does not question what is repeated. It absorbs it, adapts to it, and begins to reflect it through your behavior and decisions. When you speak affirmations or declarations just once, they may sound inspiring, but they have little lasting impact. The mind, especially the subconscious, is deeply influenced by consistency. It doesn't respond to what you say occasionally. It responds to what you say regularly, especially when those words are combined with emotion. If you repeat a phrase like "I am confident" once, your mind might dismiss it as wishful thinking. But if you say it 10 times a day for 3 days, your brain begins to take it seriously. Neural pathways start to develop. Associations begin to form. You start to feel a shift, not just in what you say, but in how you see yourself. Repetition is the tool that rewires your internal programming. Most people have spent years repeating negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I always fail. I'm unlucky. These words were not said once. They were said hundreds of times, often with feeling, and now those beliefs have taken root. They feel real, even though they were built on nothing more than repetition. So, if you want to change those beliefs, you must use the same tool that created them, but this time with purpose and intention. You must flood your mind with new words, new ideas, and new images of who you are and what you're capable of. 3 days of consistent repetition is not just a mental exercise. It is an act of emotional conditioning. When you repeat something every morning and every night, your mind begins to treat it as truth. You don't have to see evidence immediately. The process is happening beneath the surface. Every repetition is a layer. Every spoken word is a brick. You are building a new self-image, a new identity, and a new future. You may not notice a dramatic change on the first day, but by the 3rd day, something subtle shifts. You speak the words with more belief, you feel them deeper, your thoughts begin to reflect your declarations, and your actions start to align. It is important to understand that repetition is not mindless recitation. It is not about repeating words like a machine. The repetition must be paired with emotional intensity and a clear sense of purpose. When you say, "I am focused," you must say it as if you mean it. You must speak it with energy, with intention, and with the full involvement of your being. The more emotion you put behind your words, the faster they penetrate the subconscious mind. Emotion acts as the glue that binds the repetition to your identity. Most people underestimate the power of a 3-day shift. They believe that real change takes months or years, and while deep transformation is a lifelong journey, the momentum that fuels it can begin in just a few days. By repeating empowering affirmations consistently for 3 days, you build a foundation. You create a new rhythm for your thoughts. You interrupt old patterns and replace them with new ones. You send a clear message to your mind that things are changing, and your mind begins to comply. There is also a psychological principle at work called autosuggestion, the practice of influencing the subconscious mind through repeated verbal statements. Autosuggestion is not fantasy, it is a proven method for altering beliefs and behaviors. What you suggest to your mind over and over again becomes part of your mental framework, and when that framework changes, everything else follows: your decisions, your habits, your energy, and your outcomes. You must also be patient and persistent. Change through repetition is not about instant gratification. It is about planting the seed and allowing it to grow. Just as you wouldn't dig up a seed the day after planting it to see if it's growing, you must trust that your words are doing their work. Even if you can't yet see the results, speak your affirmations daily. Write them, visualize them, feel them. Do this for 3 days and then another 3 and another. Before long, the repetition becomes a part of you, and when that happens, transformation is no longer a question of if, it becomes a matter of when. Emotion amplifies intention. This is one of the most overlooked but powerful truths in personal development. You can speak words 1,000 times, but if they are spoken without feeling, they will echo into emptiness. It is not enough to simply say the right things. You must feel them. Emotion gives your words energy. It makes them real to your subconscious. It convinces the deepest part of your mind that what you are saying is not just wishful thinking, but a new belief being planted with purpose. The subconscious mind is emotional, not logical. It does not respond to cold facts. It responds to feelings. This is why memories that are tied to intense emotion, whether joy or pain, are the ones that stay with us for a lifetime. Similarly, when you speak affirmations or declarations with strong emotion, they imprint more deeply. They don't just pass through your mind. They become part of your internal blueprint. Saying, "I am worthy," with indifference has little effect. But saying, "I am worthy," with conviction, with passion, with a fire in your voice, that has power. That begins to reprogram the way you see yourself. Many people recite affirmations mechanically, hoping repetition alone will bring change. But repetition without emotion is like planting seeds in dry soil. It lacks the nourishment necessary to grow. Emotion is that nourishment. It is the water, the sunlight, and the energy that allows the spoken word to take root and flourish in the subconscious. When your heart and your voice align, the message becomes magnetic. The universe responds to intensity. Your brain responds to intensity. You begin to believe what you are saying not because you've repeated it endlessly, but because you've felt it deeply. Think of the difference between saying, "I will succeed," quietly under your breath versus standing tall, looking in the mirror, and declaring it with every fiber of your being. One is a whisper of possibility. The other is a roar of certainty. The volume doesn't matter nearly as much as the emotional force behind it. It's the passion, the urgency, the sense of ownership that transforms words into truth. When your declarations are charged with emotion, they begin to alter your emotional state. And when your emotional state changes, your behavior changes with it. Emotion also builds belief. At first, the words you speak may feel unnatural. You may not fully believe them. That's normal. But emotion acts as a bridge between doubt and belief. It allows you to experience the feelings of success, confidence, or worthiness before the external evidence appears. When you say, "I am confident," and you bring the emotion of confidence into your body, your brain begins to accept it as real. You begin to act from that place. You walk differently. You speak differently. You approach challenges with a different energy, not because your circumstances changed, but because your emotional alignment changed. The emotional charge behind your words also increases their staying power. A dry statement is easily forgotten. An emotionally charged declaration lingers in your mind. It repeats itself even when you're not trying to recall it. It becomes part of your inner dialogue, and that inner dialogue begins to shape your decisions, your actions, and your outcomes. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be emotionally connected to what you're saying. Speak as if you are calling something into existence. Speak as if your words carry weight, because they do. Emotion also acts as a signal to your nervous system. When you pair positive emotion with positive words, your body begins to release chemicals that reinforce well-being, focus, and motivation. You create a physiological response that supports your mental programming. You literally begin to feel the effects of your words in your body. That feeling becomes addictive, and the more you feel it, the more you want to return to that emotional state. This cycle, emotion, repetition, belief, creates transformation. People often ask why some affirmations don't seem to work. The answer is usually a lack of emotional engagement. They're just saying words, they're going through the motions, but your subconscious isn't listening to your words. It's listening to your energy. It responds to the emotional tone behind what you say. That's why your words must be alive. They must be filled with emotion that matches the reality you want to create. Whether it's determination, gratitude, confidence, or excitement, that emotional fuel will push your intentions into action. You have the power to generate that emotion. Even if it doesn't come naturally at first, you can summon it. Visualize the life you want. Feel the joy of achieving it. Then speak from that place. Speak with tears if needed. Speak with a trembling voice if that's what it takes, but never speak without feeling. Because when you combine words with deep emotion, you create a force that reshapes your inner world, and your inner world always shapes your outer results. When the audience hears and applies the message from this speech, especially when they follow through with the 3-day spoken affirmation challenge, several powerful results can begin to unfold in their lives, both internally and externally. Here are the key outcomes. 1. A shift in self-image. By speaking empowering affirmations with emotion and repetition, listeners begin to rewire how they see themselves. The old identity of limitation, self-doubt, or fear starts to weaken. A new self-image, rooted in confidence and possibility, begins to take shape. 2. Increased mental clarity and focus. The act of repeating focused, intentional affirmations reduces mental noise and emotional clutter. It trains the mind to concentrate on what truly matters, goals, growth, and opportunity. Over the 3 days, people often report feeling more clear-headed and energized. 3. Improved emotional state. Spoken words infused with positive emotion activate the nervous system, leading to changes in mood and attitude. Listeners feel more optimistic, more motivated, and more emotionally resilient. Even if nothing external has changed yet, their inner world becomes more stable and hopeful. 4. Aligned actions and better decisions. As belief shifts, so do behaviors. People who once hesitated to take action begin making bold moves. They start aligning their daily habits with their spoken identity. Whether it's pursuing a goal, starting a project, or ending a toxic pattern, their actions start matching their affirmations. 5. Attraction of positive opportunities. A powerful psychological and energetic shift happens when someone raises their belief and emotional frequency. They become more magnetic. Over time, this often leads to real-world results, new relationships, unexpected breakthroughs, or sudden insights that propel them forward. In short, the speech doesn't just inspire, it activates. The true result is not instant perfection, but powerful momentum. Listeners begin a cycle of transformation where words become belief. Belief becomes behavior, and behavior shapes reality.